Hello again everyone. In this video we are going to configure the first part of our cPanel, which are some basic configurations, but they are really important. In the previous video I've shown you how to set your domain records to connect to our server. Okay, so you have set up 3 records, NS1 and S2 for name servers, and also a host name for your server. It doesn't matter what you put as a name for those, but it's really important to have these 3 domain air records. Alright, so for the first part of our configuration, I am going to log into my cPanel. I'll open up my browser and paste my IP, and the port of 2087 is going to open up the WHM, which is Web Host Manager, my cPanel Web Host Manager, which I can configure my server in that. So I'm going to enter that. The username by default would be root, and the password you're going to copy and paste it. That's exactly the password of your root server. This is the first time I'm logging into my cPanel and WHM account. So in the first time, it's going to ask me for the agreement. I agree to all. And then I am going to set my name servers, which is going to be really easy. So I'm going to give it my email account first. Then I am going to give my name servers, which are ns1.pdthemes.de and also ns2.pdthemes.de, which is going to work correctly because I have set up those name servers in my Cloudflare account. Alright, finish this, and then your WHM panel would come up. Alright, as you can see, I have a trial license that you can purchase a license from cPanel.com, or it's resellers. There are lots of resellers who can provide you the licenses with less price, and it's okay to check them out, but make sure that they are the official reseller of cPanel, because if they don't provide you the original license, it may be a security issue for your server. And let me tell you something. I know for the first time it would really sound hard for you to install and configure your server, but that's okay. Everyone needs to start from somewhere, and I'm sure that with watching this course and after it, you can practice sometimes and configure 2 to 3 servers, and then you're gonna be a master cPanel installer. Don't worry about it. If you ever noticed any issue during your setup and configuration, you can search in internet. There are lots of forums, documentations, lots of things that would help you, and also I'm ready to answer as much as possible, and you can just email me or send me messages in Udemy messaging system, so I would answer you as soon as possible. So that's it. Let's go ahead. Before I start, just let me tell you something else again. Just do everything I do in the course. If you want to do something else, just search for it and make sure that you are doing something right, because one mistake in your server configuration would sometimes make lots of problems for you. Alright, and if you see any problem, it may sound a little bit hard to fix it for the first time, but I'm sure it's gonna be okay. If you are gonna be a system administrator, then you need to try a lot. Okay, so that's it. Don't worry about it. Just keep going, and you're gonna be very, very professional in this industry. Alright, and that's it. And the next thing I should mention, there are lots of things to mention in this course. I know cPanel needs a lot of talking because it's different to other panels. cPanel is a much bigger control panel in the world than any other panel I think It has lots of capabilities, and of course lots of people doesn't know all of it. And if you are going to be a master of this control panel, you need to spend a lot of time. Alright, and just to mention again, this control panel has been improved a lot since these last years. In these several years that cPanel has updated and improved the security, the interface, the setup and configuration. So now in 2020, when we are installing cPanel, WHM, any other control panel in the world, most of them are pre-configured completely correct, okay, and secure. There are only some small steps we should take to configure them completely as we need them. For example, cPanel nowadays is completely pre-configured, and lots of security configurations that we have done in past are pre-configured by default now. In the newer versions, it's gonna be better and better every day. Okay, so let's go ahead. All of the abilities, all of the features that cPanel has for administration of this server is here on the sidebar in the menu that you can see. There are lots of them. You don't need to be worried about them. It's okay. The people who has worked with reseller hosting of cPanel are more familiar with this, but there are a lot more because now you have root access to your server, and there are a lot more that you can do with your server, and you can customize it, and it's more flexible than reseller hosting. You can do whatever you want to do, and that's it. So for those who doesn't know, here you can see the version of your operating system, and you can see the version of your cPanel. The load average is going to show you how much CPU does your server is running now. For example, my server has 3 cores of CPU. Now it's only 0.03. It means that I have much more to go on. If this 0, the first 0 over here, is gonna be 3, it means my server is now running out of CPU, and I need to resize my server with bigger CPU and RAM. Alright, so that's it. Let's go ahead. The first important next steps that you can see cPanel is suggesting us. The first item is providing the contact information. Alright, I have my name servers pre-configured. That's okay. You can see that the correct IP address is here. Just check them for making sure. Yeah, the correct IP address is over here, as you can see. So just save changes just a little bit of time, and contact information. We did the let's go over here. As you can see here, there are lots of informations that you can put. Your contact information, there are lots of things your about. For example, you can do lots of things about contact information. It's only gonna use it for contacting you, so it doesn't really matter to fill these things. The only thing matters is your email. Then the basic configuration, just make sure your correct IP is here. Here you should just make sure that this has been selected by default as ETH0. Then the location, our home directories will be created for our user, it would be /home. That's okay. If you want to change it, you can go ahead and change it. I don't suggest you to change it, but if you like, you can change the name of that to anything that you would like. But this would this may cause some problems if you use some other external modules, so it's gonna be better to only work with /home by default. Okay, here is the theme of cPanel, which you can change it later on. I'm gonna show you that you can change it as a user level. It's better that you leave this as default and just let the users select it by themselves. Alright, these are not gonna be needed to change. That's it. And here is my name servers too again, and that's okay. Alright, there's nothing we should do here. This is the contact information. This is the basic configuration which I've shown you, and you can see all of the configurations in just one tab right here. That's it. Alright, so I've put this for you. When you installed the cPanel over here, you can see the cPanel configuration. After this basic configuration, we need to go to tweak setting. Tweak settings is an important part which you should configure it correctly. First of all, the gzip compression level, you can set it from 1 to 9. The cPanel default is 6. If you want to change it, it's going to change the compression level. If you don't have a lot of disk space, then you should make it more, and if you have a high storage, then you can make it lower. But 6 is default and it's okay. I don't think it's necessary to change it. Actually, there are lots of things that you can just read, and if you need them, you can just make them on or off, enable them or disable them. All of them are correctly configured. I told you in past there were some needs to change these things, but now these days cPanel newer versions has a good configurations by default when you install it. Just let me go ahead and tell you what we need to change. Alright, this is very important part about the security, about the user's email sent per hour, max hourly emails per domain. Actually, it's unlimited by default, which is not really okay. I don't know why cPanel doesn't change this as a default configuration, because unlimited is not really good. I think limited is better to, for example, 25. I've shown you this, max emails per hour 25. You should change it in tweak settings. I think that's the only thing right now in tweak setting I always change when I'm configuring a cPanel server. I've configured lots of cPanel servers, and I think the only thing that in 2020 I need to change is the mail. Of course, lots of times there are some others that you need to change, but right now here 25 is okay. Alright, I've changed that to 25. Let's go ahead. There's another thing I want to change. Let me see that. I'm gonna tell you about it. Okay, not here. Oh, just let me go ahead in PHP. The cPanel PHP loader is important for your users. Actually, you can change these later on in PHP any configurations, which we are going to cover. But right now, it's good. These configurations are good, but if your users are going to need to work with Source Guardian or YonCube, then you need to select them as well. Always select them because I think the users will need them, and it's okay to have them selected. It should be selected. So, I'm sorry. So let me put it over here for you. Select it. This is good. Alright, I'm gonna make it like this, put it for you so you don't need to memorize anything, and if the next time you want to configure it, don't come to the video and just do it yourself. Alright, as you can see, I've changed the max hourly emails per domain from unlimited to 25, and also changed the PHP loader from the normal PHP loader to YonCube and Source Guardian. Alright, so that's it. The next thing we should just see is the FTP configurations. If you can't find it on the side menu, you can just search for it, FTP configurations. As you can see, that's okay. It's disabled. You need to enable it first. I think it's okay to choose one of these. Let me... I think first of all we don't need to enable it. It's okay if you want to enable one of these, but if it's disabled, it's okay too. Alright, I wanted just to check this out. It's okay by default. If you like to have more advantages and more capabilities, you can just go ahead with pure FTPD. Alright, and let me go ahead and find these. That's okay. I think everything's alright. Dev code, LMTP server, everything's okay as I can see. So the next thing I want to show you, let me just check it out. There are lots of menus, so it's a little bit hard every time to find what we're searching for. Oh, let me see. That's okay. Alright. Okay. Everything's okay. That's okay. I wanted to just check out that yet we have FTP server configurations or not, but if you I think in version 9T cPanel has changed that menu because in the previous versions cPanel had the FTP server configurations that we should have disallowed the anonymous uploads and downloads, but right now I think it has been removed and it's okay. Alright, so that's it. That's this video. I've shown you how to make the basic configurations. I know it's gonna sound a little bit hard, and it's really hard to teach these stuff because these are not sortable, and every time I really remember something that it's necessary, I'm gonna tell you. Alright, so don't worry about it. Now I remember something, for example, that I've forgotten to tell you, which is change the host name. Okay, as you can see, the host name is different. I've actually changed it myself because I wanted to show you that it's important to know how to change it in your cPanel server. I've shown you in the command line you can do this, but I can go ahead and use this command. But if you want to do it as the interface of cPanel, you can go ahead and put your name server over here, sorry, the host name of your server over here, and save it. Alright, it's going to change the host name. It shouldn't really take long, and that's okay. So this is okay, and also there is a resolver configurations. If you really need to change these resolver configurations, if you're not really familiar with those, you can I think really it's not good to change it. But if you are if you know what resolver configurations is, you can go ahead and change the DNS of your server to the desired DNS that you are looking for. It's for the people who are familiar with networking, and it's not really suggested for the ones who doesn't know about networking. Alright, so don't change it if you are not familiar with it, and it's not real it's not really a something you should change. It's okay with the default configurations. If you I just told you, if you need some customized DNS, then change this. Alright, so that's it. That was the first video of this I think cPanel configurations of this course. In the next video we are going to make some other configurations in our server and see what we can do next. Alright, so stay with me and practice as much as you can.